I've relocated my tendons and suppressed my muscle power output. I also limited my joints range of motion. I brought my neurotransmission speed down to the lowest setting and shut down some of my brain circuits. I've come down to your level. Let's enjoy the moment. This is Shen Wulong in Kengan Omega, what Kengan has come to in 2023, the new peak of the verse, and no one is even close. So I got some new reveals regarding Shen to talk about, which connects to some stuff we learnt about in early Kengan Omega to finally talk about and finally got more confirmation for. But first, how Shen was able to keep his memories from the past generations. His reincarnation was done with this technique from the Wu clan, but since taking over the worm and the worm's research being heavily evolved in cloning and of course the cyber brain that we learnt of in early Kengan Omega, he's now moved away from using this method, with this being used on the likes of Hayami and also what Edward did with his other spares from the original Wu and as being passed down as the secret technique, which begs the question of whether Shen had contact with the original Wu or Kure clan member, if he is actually that old, which would be pretty insane. But I think it's safe to say, due to the research of cloning he conducted with the likes of the worm, so I think it's pretty safe to say that the current Shen is the first one that resulted from the new cloning method, the Shen currently fighting Mukaku, and that this potentially involved the cyber brain being used, and that's how Shen was able to do this insane feat of pretty much nerfing himself in the way he did, talking like he's some type of robot as well in the way he described it, which may actually be revealed after we get the reveal of what happened at the end of chapter 217. With Mukaku landing this direct shot on Shen directly on his face it seems like, which may actually reveal the cyber brain potentially. However, we have a few other things to talk about. First is Mukaku, even though he's getting absolutely trolled and Shen literally nerfed himself to have a fun fight with him, he did quite well in the most recent chapter, being able to catch him off guard with poison on his sword. Of course, I don't think Mukaku is going to be successful in this fight, but considering this attack, he's definitely going to be able to do some significant damage, which could mean Shen nerfing himself was probably his biggest mistake, and this may limit him in the future of the story, which would be unfortunate but may be needed considering how strong he actually is. Take this panel for an example. Mukaku is pretty much top level worm level, with Shen thinking that the likes of Yan and the other top members, probably Gilbert and the Tiger Nico, may be able to beat him but potentially not as well. And then Oma saying this about Mukaku, pretty much meaning that he doesn't know whether he can actually beat Mukaku in a one-on-one fight, which means he's top 10, potentially even top 5 in the whole verse, and him compared to full power Shen is absolutely nothing, meaning all the other top tiers in the verse are nothing compared to Shen as well. And I don't see really a training arc making up this kind of difference, so him being nerfed from this fight would be the only way for it to be successful, and him being desperate to use Ruki or potentially even Oma as a clone, as we finally got to see the face of the previous version of Shen, which looks similar to Oma than the likes of Ruki. In the previous panels before we got to see his face, it kinda looked like Ruki more due to the hair, but once we got to see his face, he's more so looking like Oma. That's probably due to the age. Of course, Oma is much older than Ruki, and current Shen is probably much older than the likes of Oma as well. So just the character aging pretty much makes him look like that. So I'm guessing in 10 or so years, Ruki will look much more like Oma than what he is now, which of course they already do look quite similar as they're clones of Shen. Now, before I continue, make sure to subscribe for more Kengan Omega content. That's what I provide on this channel, it's greatly appreciated. Something else that we learnt about Mukaku that is hugely important is pretty much the origin of him and why he hates the worm, or more so, why he has such hate for Shen Wulong, and how pretty much everything he's done in his life has led up to this moment. So originally, Shen had command over 3 main groups: the Worm, the Westwood faction, which he currently still has command over, and something known as the Dragon Tribe, which had this beefy dude as its leader, with this person being the grandfather of Mukaku, and Mukaku potentially being the only survivor of Shen's massacre of this clan, with the reveal of this panel and what Shen was able to do, and then pretty much low diffing his grandfather as well. meaning Guy Mukaku's hatred has all stemmed from this moment. He manipulated the people part of Wulong, he trained the Nikos, he did everything he's done for the sake of getting revenge on Shen for what he did. So now it does make a lot more sense regarding his character and explains it a lot more. But still, regardless of this flashback, it isn't looking good for him whatsoever, even though right now he's taking the first more so advantage. But something else to respect regarding Guy Mukaku is that he's a master of freestyles. The Ga style, which is a fake style but still has impressive techniques, the Nikko style, which may still be the strongest martial art in the whole series, and now the Long Clan martial arts as well, with him using the secret technique to land an attack on Shen here, which of course this is nerf Shen, so you can't really say too much. So now I'm guessing next chapter the fight will actually be over. Shen says he's lost interest in the fight, and I guess he was preparing to power up in these final moments here, where Mukaku pulled out the gas mask and the sword to land this slash, which of course was blocked but still cut him, and of course poison most likely being in this, allowing Mukaku to land this next blow, and potentially more and more, which is a good thing as it means Shen isn't immune to the likes of poisons. But that should be everything for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Check out all the other stuff in the description if you haven't already. Shout out to these mad lads, and that's it, guys. Peace.